smaller spend side, like 10K a month or less, usually I would try to find a contractor or a freelancer. That's just because an agency is going to charge you, depending on what their services are, probably 4K at a minimum, which is, a 40% cost for the actual like spend, if you will. Which, the effective like cost per spend rate at a large scale account is going to be anywhere between 10 to 5%. So like they're charging you quite a bit for the amount you're spending. I would just hire someone hourly who's a good freelancer. Now, like finding a good freelancer is the challenging part. Facebook and Google have so many people that are good at the platform now to where you can just throw a dart and find someone in general who's going to be able to put you in the right direction. LinkedIn's tough just because there's not a ton of freelancers that are really good at the platform. Typically, if you have someone on the B2B side who has experience in paid social, at least from the last few years, you're going to be able to find someone who has like maybe a 6 out of 10 experience on the platform, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. But if you want to scale, that's usually where, an agency or a really highly qualified contractor that's going to be more expensive than that person comes in. Contractors are going to be anywhere between 75 to 120 an hour for that. But if you're only doing 5 hours a week, really, it's not too bad. And then what you're doing on the agency side is usually a percentage of spend model or a high retainer with a smaller percentage of spend. And usually I would only recommend going for an agency if you're at 20 to 30K plus in ad spend per month.
In spend?
Yeah.
And just for that channel? Right?
Just for that channel, yeah. I would say like if you're doing combined 30 to 50K between search and social, that's a good sweet spot. Because usually you've found something that generally fits within your strategy within those channels. And then you can take someone that knows how to amplify that, and then they can just basically turn the volume up on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fascinating. I mean, you can literally go so specialized and so deep down. So is that marketing, advertising generalist a myth? That person that, oh, I've done social, I've done content, I've done paid, and like I can run all of it for you? Like, should you just like run the opposite direction if you encounter those people, or do they exist out there?
I think it's true for some things. I think like if you take a general, jack of all trades, they're probably pretty okay at paid search. Like that's just such a widely available skill to learn and to get decent at this point, because best practices are everywhere. Like, sure, you could totally find someone to do that. Now, can you find someone that does SEO, paid search, and paid social? That's where I would steer away from. And I would probably actually find individual contractors for each of those.